My dad always listened to a lot of music. He also had a band when he was younger, and he used to build his own instruments and amps, and I think that kind of inspired me as a kid. I also remember him waking me up every single weekend playing his records and looking at the vinyl covers, looking at the images and reading everything, even if I already did it like 1,000 times. I started playing the guitar because it was the only instrument I had at the time, but I only did it for a few months until my dad bought me a drum kit, and that made me just quit the guitar, and I got seriously addicted to playing the drums, and I did it for maybe 10 years until I started to develop the interest on music theory and in other instruments like guitar again, the bass, and keyboards. I think that in the back of my mind, I already wanted to be able to record everything on my own, recording my ideas, and not to depend on anyone to do it. I like to think that my music sounds old and vintage, but with a modern twist. The main focus is on the real old school stuff. Funk is the main ingredient. I think my growing passion for jazz is having a great influence on me in terms of music writing, and it's even changing my concept of music in general. Most of the times, the ideas come from just me playing around or practicing on the keyboards. Sometimes they just pop in my head, driving home from work or just walking on the street. I just pick my phone and record the audio, so when I get home I can reproduce the sound on the instruments. I also like to spend some time in my balcony jamming on the guitar or bass while drinking some good wine, and many ideas appear from those moments. At the moment, I've been working on promoting my release with Omega Supreme Records more than anything else. Also, currently working on a new album and some more ideas. I might just release them as singles, I'm not sure yet. And I'm also working on an EP with a big friend, MC from my hometown, Porto. I keep looking for new music and new artists I never heard before, mostly from 70s and 80s, funk, soul, jazz, gospel, and sometimes I make such incredible discoveries that I feel a serious rush of inspiration, and I might just write 3 or 4 ideas in a row, or just make a whole new track in 2 days, which is something that never happens with me. But I'm also very sensitive to what surrounds me. I must say the city of Porto has a huge role in my music. The buildings, the people, the essences, the history. I get lost looking at people living their lives inside the city, people talking to each other on the street. All of that really inspires me. But I also live a lot in the past. I always spend a bit of my day thinking about moments I lived, people I met, or other specific moments that left a mark. That seriously have an impact on me, and I did quite a few tracks on that mood. To record my music, I use a Roland TD4 electronic drum kit, a Epiphone guitar, a Yamaha electric bass, and I'm not sure about the models, but they do their job alright. In terms of synthesizers, synth I use the most is Roland HS60, which is basically a Juno 106. It's exactly the same, the electronics are the same, just a different look. Also very important is the Yamaha TX7. I've got one of the latest versions, I think it's from 1987. Is the DX7 2D. It's an incredible machine, very typical sounds from the 80s. Also have a Roland JX8B. It's still being restored, so I don't use it a lot, but every time I turn it on, I record something with it. For my bass lines and many sounds, wobbly sounds, even lead sounds, is made with a Moog Subfati. It's a really incredible machine. I'm still surprised every day when I use it and turn some knobs. I always find a new sound and makes me want to record it or use it in any way. Also, I have this Casio CZ1, which is a really funny machine. I use it mostly for as a MIDI keyboard, but it has some really unique and great sounds. I'm still exploring it in depth, but every time I'm amazed, because it can be really good if you know how to use it. It becomes really good. Incredible machine, digital, from 1986, and that's about it. My top 3 albums are Fire from Ohio Players, from 1974, released with Mercury Records. Confunction, the album 7, released also with Mercury Records in 1981. And The Whispers, self-titled, released in 1979 with Solar Records.